You're watching Teng Tools Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Muscle Garage is proudly brought to you by Teng Tools in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Niedercar. We're kicking things off this series with a 2018 Prowear Chrome Expression Session from Hampton Downs. And meet the Tiki T, the class we all wish was around when we were at school. But getting us underway is the first of this season's feature cars. The crew from Maguire's sent us to New Plymouth to check out Justin Walker's show-stopping 64 Galaxie.
So I had a 64 Ford Sprint. It was a two-seater, pro street car, no good for the family, so started looking around and wanted something that we could put 3 people in. So this thing came along on eBay, I think it was, and looked at it, rang them up and had a few questions and brought it. I wanted a bigger car.
Enter the family car. 164 Ford Galaxie, now complete with a blown big block, tubbed with steamroller rear treads, and a roof chop. It all screams practicality. To be fair though, it wasn't meant to go this far.
No, it started off, it was going to be a car, just chuck some cool wheels on it, and do nothing to it really. And it would have been just a good car that you could chuck, family in it or a few friends and go for a cruise. But once I got it here, I unloaded it, drove like an old wallowy thing, so wasn't too impressed with it. Got a wheel alignment on it, thinking, that might tidy it up, make it a bit easier to drive. Sort of drove it from town back home, 6k, and decided she's not going to go on the road like that. So that's how it started.
And it would seem a touch of buyer's remorse wouldn't be the last bump in the road for Justin.
Well, there's been lots of challenges on the way, From the first time we brought it, when it fell off the truck, when we were getting it off from the transporter, when it was transported down from Auckland, to the engine getting built and turning up, and we had to rebuild it over here, that was pretty disappointing. Getting windows made that broke, shattered, all these things sort of tested me along the way, and I definitely think taught me a few things. Patience was one of them, and persistence was the other one. So to get through it, because I think a lot of people would have given up.
While there's a fair bit going on with the Galaxie, perhaps the most unique of the lot is the slice and dice job on the roof, a brave move for a 60s car.
Yeah, I think it just makes it look a lot different to the other ones, makes it look really long, and I think with the big wheels and the big motor hanging out the bonnet, it just really sets it off, everything's big.
The chop was, shall we say, started in the States, and was one of the reasons the big Ford caught Justin's eye. However, fresh off its New Zealand boat ride, it was clear a fair bit of refining would be required, and it wouldn't stop at fixing up that revised roofline.
Opened up the boot, took the fuel cell out and had a little look around in it, and it was just full of fiberglass. I hit it with the hammer a few times, and the more I hit, the more fiberglass fell out of it, and then the more I dug, the worse it got. So, all the boot floor had been chopped out, and that basically overlapped and just stitched on with some gasless wire, so it was pretty average. And so the more I went looking, the more I found the sills had been cut off and turned inside out for lake pipes, and the chassis had been put a box section welded in there to mini tub it, so it was pretty rough. I sort of set myself a goal that I'd have it going within a couple of years, but the more I dug, the bigger the project got, and it just got away on me really. So what started off to be just put a big block in it and C6 and 9-inch and some big wheels, just got bigger and bigger and bigger. 11 years it was. I think it was about 10 and a half years before I got to Beach Shop. On and off, so I had it stored away for a couple of years here and there while I moved house and all that, but once I got into it, the last few years have definitely been every single day, every single weekend. It's been a passion in some ways.
Its Beach Shop debut wasn't one to slip under the radar. Although Justin maintains it's a car built for him and his family, not trophies, it's every bit an impact car, and voting by people's choice would see the car included in the Beach Hop Top 5, eventually taking out the big one, Top Car. A mild tune of only 750 horses, force-fed with 5 pounds of boost, was deemed sensible for this maiden journey, but there's a bit more in it.
So it's a 580 cube, it's an eliminator block. It's running a 4340 crank, stroker crank, 4.5 inch stroke, blower pistons, custom made pistons, AFR heads, and then the bullet shot blower. So yeah, it's a piece of work, but the goal is to get 1,000 horsepower out of it. I believe we can, so we'll see what happens this summer.
The power plant is backed up by a Tremac T56 Magnum 6-speed box, which feeds a 9-inch diff playing host to Moser axles and a strange head sporting 411 gears. Coilovers ground all 4 corners to make this monster remarkably well behaved on the road. The Galaxie, a car unashamedly with everything in excess.
Yeah, when we were building it, well, obviously things grow, but like I think everyone has maybe a blow-on big block or a tub car or a manual car, but you know, having it all together with a big chop and all that kind of stuff, I think it just makes a big statement. So yeah. Haven't used it that much since Beat Shop. Probably burnt myself out a little bit trying to get it going for Beat Shop, so I haven't really had the motivation to get back into it, but I think we'll finish it off. There's a few little things that I want to do to it, and then it will be going for summer and we'll get some miles in it, yep, for sure.
Moving right along, thanks to our mates at Niedercar, we're headed for Hampton Downs to take in the sights and sounds from the 2018 Prowear Chrome Expression Session. We car folk are a loyal bunch, even just a little one-eyed perhaps, tending to fly the flag for a specific mark, immune to the lure of its rivals. So an event that melds not just makes and models, but whole genres of motoring, divided by decades, point of origin, not to mention at times fierce rivalry, well, it probably just shouldn't work. But 2018's Prowear Chrome Expression Session continued the all-in ethos of previous years, and you'd have to say, pretty successfully too.
Yeah, just something different. Instead of going to a Mustang show where there's just Mustangs everywhere, to come out and cruise with just all types of cars on a track that's built, you know, for this type of event, and just have some fun with the rest of them, you know. I'm a V8 man, so I'll always have V8s.
I like all spectrums of the car range, so if somebody's prepared to put the effort in, I'll respect it and look at it for what that is, you know, which is cool. Events like this are awesome.
It's a great show. There's a great turnout from all different walks of cars, from one side of the board to the other. Whether it's V8s, rotaries, all the J&M cars are here, all just high caliber of cars here. There's a lot of nice cars, and it's a must-go show for the year. It's must-go.
A big chunk of Chrome's appeal is without doubt the location. Hampton Downs Motorsport Park, nestled just south of the Bombays on the Waikato side. The track saw heavy traffic over the long weekend, with a timetable drawn up to split track time between cruising speed and more spirited laps, also rolling start drags, power skids, and a bit of drifting. Not to mention the supporting gymkhana and burnout pads. Confined within the circuit's border was a dedicated show hall, and the pit areas which, in turn, acted like a revolving show and shine of their own.
The car's a 1968 Holden Monaro, running a 402 big block. Turbo thrifty trans, 4 9-inch. Yeah, I've had the car for 24 odd years. Bought it in my early 20s and still got it now. Car's just turned 50, so yeah, you can't buy them for a couple of grand anymore, and love it even more. Yeah, you know, wouldn't live without it. So no plans of losing it anytime soon.
And despite the Monaro's rapidly escalating value, wrapping it in cotton wool isn't in the plans either.
They're the days that you look for, yeah, to get out and actually use it for what it was built for. I bought it to have fun and skid it. Hopefully it holds together and we get there.
It's a 1965 SS Impala, factory big block car. It's got 496 in it, 454 stroker, nitrous, 750 horse wheels. Just love the shape, eh? Good family car. Chuck the kids in it and go out for the weekend, you know, and come and have fun on the track at the same time. We won't be holding back, mate. We'll be giving it to it.
Looking like it was doing 200 just sitting still, Steve Wood's Capri packing a whole lot more punch than anything the Ford factory deemed civil.
Running a
509 blowing alcohol big block Chev, built by Papakura Engine Specialists in Auckland. Well, you've got the Piranha from South Africa, which came out with a little 289, I believe. So we'll just take that a step further, and you'd struggle to get a bigger engine in the engine bay, but that's where things evolve to, so here we are. I've always had a bit of a semi for Capris. I think that's my 4th one, so they're small, they're light, and easy to make fast, so it's a wee bit thirsty. I'm going to run out of fuel before lunchtime, I think, but that's methanol, and it's a new engine, new combo, so I'm just trying to figure out where everything's at. So I've learnt something this morning, and that's bring more fuel.
Amazing results, even at full sight.
You're back with Teng Tools Muscle Garage, proudly brought to you by Teng Tools, in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Niedercar. Right, thanks to our mates at Niedercar, we're back at the 2018 Prowear Chrome Expression Session, where V8s duel with imports across Hampton Downs circuits and skid pads. But it's not all about braving the elements, be it a foggy Waikato Saturday or our favourite, the just plain old downpoury Waikato Sunday. Quite comfortable in his indoor parking spot for the weekend show and shine was Matt and his old school meets new Challenger. And we thought we'd join him for a bit.
It's a 2011 Dodge Challenger. It's running a aftermarket 392 with twin spark heads and NOS methanol injection and obviously blowing. It's been a nightmare. We've had to do a lot of things that shouldn't have been done, couldn't have been done, so they say. But we managed to come out the other side, more Kiwi ingenuity more than anything else, making things fit that's not supposed to fit, tricking computers with one computer, tricking the next, skin knuckles, everything. It was all worth it though. All the way through I was laughing, even though I was swearing half the time. But it was one of those things, you like a certain car, you got to do it. And I got it in my head, I got to do it. And if it was easy, everyone would do it.
And headaches and heartaches aside when breaking new ground, there's certainly a refinement that comes when dealing with a car without too many birthdays under its belt.
I think so, yeah, because even though it's got the old school sort of parts on the motor and made it more like old school looking, I'm still running the modern suspension, things like the modern power steering, which works on the computerized, so it just works out how I'm driving and changes the power steering accordingly. I'm getting, older, and of course, my ass appreciates it more when I don't go over, the bumps so much and stuff. It's nice. It's nice, comfortable driving. The difference between a modern Commodore and an old HQ, it's a big difference.
It's a 1967 Ford Mustang. It's running a 289 stroker, and about 350 horsepower. So it's a 289 Windsor, straight to about 305 cube. It's got AFR aluminium heads, AFR aluminium radiators, put ice ignition all the way through the car, nice set of extractors. It's all forged bottom end, C4 transmission, just kept it all original, put a shift kit through it, and the original 8.8 inch rear end. We just put a true track through Casper diffs, just because it was always a one-wheeler. So now it's a little bit crazy with the true track in it, but lots of fun on the track, you know? Lots of fun, yeah.
The track and Hampton's burnout pad, it would seem. Sure, the Mustang certainly scrubs up nice, but a fun, usable car was Daniel's MO.
I want to build something that was 500-600 horsepower because it's undrivable, and we know it's making well over 350, so pump fuel all day, no hassles, and that was what we really wanted to build. It was fun actually driving to the track because everything else around me was on trailers, and I was like, you know, I kind of want the old school, and to drive there, to race around the other day, put the original rims back on it and drive home. Cars are built to have fun, you know, so yeah, family, friends, and a bit of fun with the car.
Right, we're shed raiding again this season, and thanks to our mates at Mount Shop, we've got something a little different to kick this series off. Meet the Tiki T, a collab between Whangarei Rod and Custom Club and Tikipunga High School's Automotive Trade Academy.
Alrighty, so this project came about as we were looking to put something back into the community. We heard about the trade class here, the automotive class here that Clint runs at the Tikipunga High School, so we approached them and asked them if they might be interested in a build project, partly funded by the club and seeking sponsorship, and yeah, they jumped at it.
Yeah, building something from the ground up, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. A lot of the cars that my students see which are on the roads, you know, most of them are all Japanese. It's built in a factory, whereas we're building a car from the ground up, and they can put their own twist. And it's basically been left up to them when it comes to the design and the way they want this car to look.
Drill through that and screw it. What's going to happen to this? Yeah, you'll break it.
This is a 1923 fiberglass replica. It is based on a Model T, the original Model T, but modernised with modern chassis, modern running gear. It's the simplest, it's the cheapest to build, and a lot of fun.
We hope to be able to, when it's finished, auction it off to a happy bidder, and basically the profits from the vehicle will go back into this class.
To go through to the outside.
It's amazing going to school and be able to have this opportunity to do automotive. My brother and my dad are into cars, and when we found out there was a trade here, I jumped at it because I wanted to be able to learn cars and be able to fix my own car.
What I'm hoping is that it actually highlights what we actually do at Tikipunga High School. With the help of the Hot Rod and Custom Club, which would highlight stuff that doesn't normally happen in the school, which is huge. Most people don't get to build a car until they've left school and it's sitting in their own garage, but we're actually doing it at school. So showing the community that this is what the stuff that our kids can do before they even get to the workplace. So it gives them an insight, more looking further than like regular jobs and stuff like that anything's possible as far as like automotive or life in general, that you're not just restricted to what people tell you can do.
I think this has been really good for the kids. You know, these guys are going out, the age where they're going out into the workforce shortly, so it gives them a real hands-on experience on build, and they're also communicating with a lot of our club members and sponsors and so forth on a one-on-one basis, so they're learning that sort of skill as well, that social skill as well as a physical skill.
They've just come on so well. They greet me in the morning with a handshake, and yes, their confidence has grown. Amazing.
And students don't need to look too far for inspiration for the project either. Founded in 1967, Whangarei Rod and Custom Club boasts 180 members, and visits regularly include plenty of examples of rods and customs. For the club, it's not just an opportunity to share both practical and life skills, but a chance to showcase hot rodding in a positive way.
Yeah, it's not all about burning tyres and you know, roaring V8s. It is about clubs being involved in their communities and raising funds for different charities and things like that. It's not all boganish and hard out. It's a good community of people, and we really enjoy it.
And this community may have got a little larger in the process.
We couldn't have done this as a club alone. The sponsorship that we've been offered and received over the year has been fantastic, and not only local businesses but businesses from far afield, from down the island, down the South Island as well. People have seen it advertised and talked about it and so forth. So, you know, as you say, it takes a whole village to raise a child, and in this case it's taken the whole country of different experts and so forth to put this together. So yeah, we thank all our sponsors on that basis.
Like it or not, projects like the Tiki T build have further-reaching implications for the hobby, sport, or whatever you like to call it. Hot rodding's generation is getting a bit grey around the edges, and with old-school know-how losing out to scan tool-wielding technicians, it's not just building a hot rod the old way, it's passing the torch.
You did right. The club is an ageing population, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because there's experience there, but you need the young blood coming through, and that was one of the ideas of coming to the high school and getting these students involved in hot rodding and car building in itself, to bring in younger blood into the trades and into the clubs.
Well, they're the future. We haven't got a future. Once we all go, our average age in our club is probably about 58. Where are these cars going to go once we've gone? And these are the young people that are going to take them on, hopefully.
Probably need to buy me a bigger garage.
Every week we're giving our viewers the chance to win a Teng Tools and Maguire's gift pack worth $250. Simply head to themotorhood.com and hit the Teng Tools Muscle Garage link. By entering our weekly draws at the end of the series, one lucky viewer will win a massive Teng Tools 622-piece automotive toolkit and 7-drawer workstation, a complete Maguire's car care pack, and a $500 mount shop voucher. The total value of this grand prize is over $5,000. Good luck, everyone. Teng Tools Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Teng Tools. Get organised. Mount Shop, undercar specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Need a Car, the easy way to research and buy cars online.